Kelly Osbourne and Punky Harrod are just a couple of teenagers in love.
Punky was like head over heels with her. I mean, I was like, you're in love or are you obsessed? And she seemed the same way toward him.
She was like our own daughter.
Your grandma.
Until an adventurous couple from the local speedway drives their marriage off track.
There was more going on than just friendship.
And soon they find themselves in the fast lane to trouble.
He was very, very strong and crazy.
We were chasing lots of dead ends, just proving who actually did the killing.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. Wichita, Kansas, the air capital of the world, is an industry town through and through.
I don't know, it's a big town. You got Boeing, Bombardier, you got Beach and Spirit and Cessna. So you got them all around.
In a working-class neighborhood in the south part of town, Franklin Harrod Jr., better known as Punky, grows up in an aviation family. Everyone expects him to get a job on the Cessna assembly line.
We all work at Cessna. So, you know, it's not unusual for families to work at the same place.
Even at the age of 17, Punky towers over most everyone. He's 6'2" and 250 pounds.
He wasn't afraid of anything. He played hard. He liked to play with the bigger kids. And if somebody wanted to fight, he'd fight.
Punky has a soft side as well.
He was real shy when you met him. He kind of mumbled when he talked, and, you know, he wouldn't look at you. He'd be like,
He was big, intimidating looking, but he was a big old teddy bear.
He spends most of his free time at 81 Speedway, a local racetrack.
It was his hobby, kind of. He loved racing. He loved watching racing.
Hey, Gilbert, look at this awesome one.
And when he's not at the track, he hangs out with his best friend, Gilbert.
I really love this.
It's through him that Punky meets the girl of his dreams.
So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Cannot complain. Nice weather.
He thought she looked like Denny Moore.
I guess we'll be seeing you around.
And that's what his attraction was to her.
Wait!
Punky went running after the car. Hey, hey.
What's up?
You want to go out?
Yeah, all right, sure.
Her name is Kelly Osbourne. She's only 15 and already a bit of a heartbreaker.
I'd always see guys looking at her. I mean, she was the type of girl, if you see her walking down the road, they would, you know, they'd always catch a glimpse or look at her.
I did not know what to think of her because she was just real quiet, and she seemed really nice and everything, but it seemed like there was more layers behind that.
While Kelly comes from the same working-class background as Punky, her home life is far from stable.
Her mom and dad were divorced, and her mom was remarried, and her dad was remarried, and they both lived in Wichita or around in the surrounding area.
From what I know with her mom, she didn't get along with her stepdad, so Kelly lived with her grandpa.
She was probably closer to her grandpa Sonny than anybody else.
Punky is immediately smitten with Kelly. There's just one problem. Kelly's with Gilbert, Punky's best friend.
Kelly and Gilbert were dating, kind of, sort of, you know, off and on. And they were friends, too, you know.
But the relationship isn't serious, and Kelly soon drops Gilbert for Punky.
She dated all of their friends, which, to me, that's how it was. It's kind of like keeping it in a circle of friends.
But while Gilbert may still have feelings for Kelly, he and Punky managed to stay friends.
Him and Gilbert were, you know, best buddies all over again.
They still hung out together. They went to school and run around a lot. Punky had a car. Gilbert did, I don't think.
Once Punky and Kelly start dating, the relationship quickly turns serious.
I'll meet you here after class.
Perfect.
They just seemed to get along great. They was always joking, hitting on each other, playing around.
Punky was like head over heels with her. I mean, I was like, you're in love or are you obsessed?
2 years later, the young couple marries in an intimate ceremony in Texas, where most of Punky's relatives live.
It's at the park. There's a little gazebo and nothing but family. And it was a little, a little special wedding. It was nothing huge, but it was just, it was nice, very nice.
Kelly was all excited. Punky was all happy and chipper, and my dad even got a suit. My dad does not wear suits.
Sadly, Kelly's family boycotts the wedding. They feel 17-year-old Kelly's too young to get married, and they don't approve of Punky.
Her dad did not like him, I know, because he took his baby away from him.
Probably it was mutual, but, he didn't like Punky, and Punky didn't like him.
The newlyweds settle in Andover, just outside Wichita, where Punky works as a janitor at a local high school. At his parents' request, Punky takes in his cousin George, who's been hanging out with a bad crowd.
When I moved in with Punky, it was, pretty much took me under his wing.
Money's tight, but they make ends meet.
Him working at the school, he wasn't making a lot of money. So I knew I had to go look for another job and try to help him out because I knew it was a struggle. They were a young couple, just like everybody else. They had their little problems, little disputes, the trash, or did you put gas in the car?
Everything will be okay.
Punky spends most of his time at work, while Kelly stays home, often with George, who is careful to keep his distance. The same can't be said for all of Punky's friends, especially one, Kelly's ex, Gilbert.
He'd tell Punky that, hey, I came to see George, but he never talked to me. He would never talk to me. I mean, he'd always, go try to, talk to Kelly or whatever. I had some kind of suspicion about it. Well, maybe he still does like her because he's around here a lot.
And George isn't alone.
Punky was, he was kind of a jealous type, but it wasn't an outrageous jealous. He was proud of his woman. He was one of them guys. He's very proud of her, to have her.
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell think the couple are flirting with trouble.
I find it really strange that Punky's allowing Kelly's ex-boyfriend to be around. It makes me wonder if he's sort of a glutton for punishment. I mean, she had feelings for him once before, and she could have feelings for him again.
It can be a volatile mix when you have one person who tends to be sort of flirtatious and you have another person who tends to be jealous fairly easily. And so to the extent that Kelly's previous partner seems to sort of be hanging around in their lives is a potential red flag for Punky and Kelly's relationship going forward.
I worry about Kelly and Punky's relationship because Kelly's a flirt. She likes a lot of attention, and Punky doesn't like her getting that attention. And so I begin to wonder, how is he gonna stop it? What's he gonna do? And will he end up really angry?
For now, everything's rosy. 7 months into the marriage, the couple gets some great news.
Lisa, wake up, wake up. I'm like, what's wrong, what's wrong? He's like, Kelly's pregnant.
I can't believe it myself. She just told me the news. Kelly just told me that we're gonna have a baby.
He's like, well, we're going out for a celebration breakfast at McDonald's, because that's all I can afford right now.
He was excited. They were both excited.
Look, Kelly, look what our parents brought us.
That's sweet.
Just over a year after they get married, their first daughter is born.
They're great parents. Punky always had the baby. I mean, he's a teddy bear. When he was home, it was nothing but the baby.
They have their second child a year later.
He was good with the kids. He played with them all the time. He was always real close to them.
With 2 young children, Punky and Kelly need more space. The couple buys their first home in the rural community of Rose Hill. Being so far from the city means Kelly is tethered to the house and kids.
She was always at the house, either cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. She never went out. She never did anything. She was always home.
And while Kelly stays at home, Punky spends more and more of his free time at 81 Speedway.
We'd go up there every weekend. He was all excited about it.
Look at that thing.
Punky makes 2 new friends, Jerry Trussell, a local mechanic, and his girlfriend, Tammy. Jerry is 10 years older than Punky, who seems to look up to him.
Look at that thing go. Look at it go over there. I can't believe it.
Jerry was into racing as well, and Punky's like, I met this guy. He's pretty cool. You'll like him. He's awesome.
Jerry was very knowledgeable on cars, his official line of work being an auto mechanic.
Jerry introduces Punky to a dangerous new variety of stock car racing, cruiser car racing. Unlike regular stock cars, cruiser cars require a co-pilot. And so Punky takes his love of the racetrack to the next level by becoming a driver.
You get 2 people in the car, there's one drives and one works the gas, and you go to town. If you don't go together, if your sequence ain't right, you have a problem.
It was just like almost like a demolition car, the ones that are made out of, you know, it looks like they're just put together with Coke cans. Them kind of cars.
Scary if it worries you as a parent to watch your kids out there banging around cars.
Punky and Jerry start racing together. And perhaps because it's such an intense game of trust, they become fast friends.
We'll watch some races. It was fun. Punky was I think he's a better driver than Jerry was. He wasn't afraid of speed.
Punky and Jerry buy a car together as soon as they can afford it.
They bought an old clunker. It was an old piece of crap. He painted his number on there and Kelly's name.
If Kelly feels left out, it doesn't last. Soon she grows close with Tammy.
2 girls, Tammy and Kelly, got along fine. They were just always talking or drinking or fiddling around.
You know how you get 2 women together and they discuss, oh, my husband, they complain about their husbands together.
But the new couple is about to steer them in the wrong direction.
Jerry was running a chop shop here in Wichita.
There was more going on than just friendship.
Punky and Kelly Harrod get married young, and with 2 young kids, they're struggling to make ends meet. Still, they're managing to have some fun. Punky's taken up racing, and they've made some new friends at the local speedway.
I don't know what to tell you.
But Punky's hobby is starting to wear on the marriage.
Cars.
It just seemed like it started to deteriorate. I just didn't get along as much.
Then you don't come home. You don't bring the pay.
They got into it one day, and Punky went to grab her arm because she had hit him in the nuts. And he grabbed her hair, and I was like, hey, what the hell is going on? And he goes, I didn't mean to do that. And then they really started arguing. And I was like, you guys need to chill out.
Not all their arguments are about the mundane. Rumor has it, Kelly may be cheating on Punky.
Friends said when they would go over to Punky's house waiting on him to get off of work to hang out, you know, she would come on to them.
Most of the rumors center around Gilbert, who still seems interested in Kelly.
Gilbert was always over there. There was sometimes I'd show up and, you know, after work, and Punky wouldn't be there, but he'd be there.
Punky suspects something is going on. Though he can't be sure, it's enough to set him on edge.
What do you mean? I don't understand you.
He'd get mad about it. He was jealous.
Things get so bad, police are repeatedly called to the house. And on more than one occasion, Kelly walks out on Punky. But she always comes home.
Anybody home?
Early in the new year, Punky comes home to find his wife and children gone.
Anybody?
And this time, she's not coming back.
Kelly, anybody home?
He called me at lunch, upset. Kelly's gone. I said, where's she at? You guys fighting? No. I said, where'd she go? He didn't know.
Hey, Dad, Kelly left me. She took the kids. I can't believe it.
She was just gone. There was no warning, you know, nothing. There was no major fight or nothing that made her take off. It was just, boom, she was gone.
This can't be possible.
And the kids with her.
He would frantically run all over town, threatening to kill himself.
Punky would go looking for her, would go talk to her dad, talk to her friends. He ended up coming and staying back with us at our house. He was depressed.
As weeks go by, Punky is desperate to see his kids again.
It was devastating. And he wanted the kids back. He wanted her back, but his main concern was the kids.
To make matters worse, Punky learns the rumors about Gilbert are true. His best friend confesses to sleeping with Kelly.
Get off of my property.
We had heard from someone that Punky and Gilbert got into it. Well, they're fighting or bickering or something. So I went home and I was like, what's going on with you and Gilbert? He goes, it's none of your business. Because he's a punk. And that's all. I don't want to talk about it.
And after that, Punky and him kind of cut corners, and you go your way and I go my way.
Despite Kelly's infidelity, Punky wants her back. But first, he needs to find her.
And I said, look, just divorce the Don't call her that, don't call her that. I said, file for temporary custody of the kids. That way you bring her out in the open.
Punky takes his dad's advice and files for divorce. His lawyer tracks down Kelly and the kids in Arkansas.
And the lawyers found her, got her subpoenaed.
Faced with the threat of losing her kids in a divorce, Kelly has had a change of heart.
They decide they want to reconcile. He's like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Well, if you love her, get back together with her. Try not to argue so much with her.
Everything under control.
Suck up to her. Do whatever it takes to get her back. If you truly love her.
Okay. I'll take care of everything. I'll make some breakfast, okay?
Punky cancels the divorce proceedings, and they try to start fresh.
Punky was like super duper at her feet, doing everything she wanted, but something wasn't right. Things weren't like they were before she left. It wasn't, where they worked things out or, they would argue and then get over it real quick.
I don't think they ever got along really good after that, but they got back together.
Kelly tried to leave the relationship, and it's almost as if Punky forced her back. And so now she's living with him under duress, and she probably doesn't want to be there.
There are people who sometimes come back together and make it work for the kids for some time after a situation like that happens. But more often than not, it doesn't work. It's short-lived if it happens at all.
So what's going to happen is they're going to probably fight. There's going to be a greater escalation, and it could lead to violence.
Perhaps to reduce the tension in their marriage, Punky and Kelly are spending more and more time with their new friends, Jerry and Tammy.
When Tammy and Jerry show up in the picture, initially, Punky was excited, had a new friend, a new buddy. They were always over there hanging out.
But not everybody is taken with the couple. They're a questionable influence on Punky and Kelly's already shaky marriage.
When I first met him, Tammy opens the door, she's got a big, shiny black eye, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like this guy.
A lot of Punky's friends told him to stay away from him because the guy was trouble.
There's good reason to steer clear of Jerry Trussell.
He was running a chop shop here in Wichita. He was very knowledgeable on cars, taking them apart and disposing of parts and different things like that.
And worse.
Tammy would tell us how abusive Jerry was and how scared she was of him. One time at the mechanic shop that Jerry got so mad that he picked Tammy up and held her up by her throat until she almost passed out, and then he dropped her on the floor. That Jerry was a hothead, you really had to watch yourself around him. He could hurt people.
But Punky either doesn't know about Jerry's past or doesn't care. And when, in June 1997, Jerry and Tammy are evicted from their home in Wichita, Punky is there to bail them out.
My brother told him, well, come stay with us. We've got room, we'll help you out. And they moved in.
But Jerry might be looking for another kind of hospitality.
Jerry and Kelly don't even mess around.
Punky was like, what the hell?
With two young kids, Kelly and Punky Harrod don't have much room at home, but they make space for Speedway pals Tammy and Jerry, who've just been evicted from their rental. It's a tight squeeze.
It was Punky and Kelly and my grandkids, and then Tammy and Jerry and their kids. A lot of people for a little house like that.
What's up, Jerry? How you doing, bud?
Punky's pretty happy with the new arrangement. After all, he has good reason to feel generous.
Wait, been waiting for this my whole life.
He found out he was getting a job at Cessna. He was all excited.
The new job will mean more money, and with it, freedom.
And he's like, I could get you a car, Kelly. We fix up the house. We could have more money to do stuff. Won't have to worry about money. And, you know, everything was going to be great.
The job couldn't come at a better time. Kelly is pregnant again. Everything in the young couple's life seems to be looking up, but it's not. Punky can't be sure the new baby is actually his.
I didn't think it was Punky's, but that's irregardless. That's not my business.
Kelly has a history of infidelity, and the father could be any number of people, including the couple's new tenant. It seems Kelly is falling for the older man's charms.
Jerry thought that Kelly really loved him and that he was going to be able to have Kelly.
The tension between the two men grows, especially when Punky and Kelly's wedding anniversary is announced publicly at 81 Speedway.
Congratulations to Punky and Kaylee on their wedding anniversary.
So sweet.
And Kelly liked that. And she thought it was pretty neat to hear their anniversary announced.
Just because it's so beautiful.
But later on, I heard that Jerry was pissed about it.
You might say he was jealous.
This is one of those scenarios where I ask myself, what is Punky thinking? Their relationship is in crisis. Let's bring another guy into the household who she can possibly have an affair with.
There's all kinds of chaos in this household, and that usually does not bode well. And particularly the infidelity that appears to be occurring, and it appears to be a common thread going back to the beginning of Kelly and Punky's relationship.
It seems like Jerry and Tammy are a very bad influence on Punky and Kelly's relationship. It was already fragile, and things seem to be getting worse. This is a recipe for disaster.
Just the simple fact that you have a married woman who's pregnant and Kelly's not sure whether the father is her husband or some other guy kind of tells you everything you need to know about Punky and Kelly's relationship at this point.
9 days after Punky and Kelly's anniversary, the two men are back at the track, racing together. But teammates need to trust, not hate.
The last race they had, I guess Jerry was steering the car and Punky was using the gas, and Jerry spun out and he got all pissed off at Punky because of it, and it all went downhill from there. I went back down to the pits, asked Punky, what's wrong with Jerry? Oh, he's been an
The next time Punky speaks with his dad, he's obviously upset, but he won't say why.
Everything's okay.
I asked him, is something wrong? No, nothing wrong, but I could tell in his voice something was wrong. That's what's the matter, boy? Nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
I think he might have known about Jerry and Kelly, but I don't think he wanted me to know.
Just be careful, kid.
Bye, Dad.
Franklin never has the opportunity to ask his son again. The next day, Punky disappears.
Kelly's story was, I was in the shower, and he popped his head in and says, I'm gonna run and go get some cigarettes, I'll be right back. And that a car pulled up, he got into it, never came back.
Kelly said he left with a friend. That's who did he leave with? I don't know, he just said he'd be back. I tried paging him. Because when I paged him, he always called back. Sometimes it'd take 2 times, but he always called back. And I knew when I paged him, he didn't call back, something's wrong.
Nobody knows where Punky could have gone. Even more alarming, he's supposed to be at Cessna the next day for his new job.
But he never showed up. He never showed up. And he was supposed to start out there and get a better life for his kids, you know?
Kelly is strangely calm when she files a missing persons report. She doesn't seem worried about Punky, and initially, neither do the police.
I saw him yesterday, and he popped his head in the shower and said he'd be back in 20 minutes.
I don't think the Butler County Sheriff's Office really took this case as a serious case. It was just a missing person. He was an adult. It happens every day. People leave their spouses. They go start a new life somewhere else.
Punky's family posts flyers with his photo all over town. They find Kelly's reaction to her husband's disappearance puzzling.
After, almost a week of not hearing nothing from anybody, I get a phone call from Tammy. She's like, Kelly's really upset. She needs family around right now. Could you come over?
But when she gets there, Kelly isn't upset at all.
I go out there, and Kelly and Tammy are having a good time, and I'm like, what is this?
How are you? What are you doing here?
Kelly's laughing and carrying on, and you know how you get that feeling like, okay, something's not right?
Was in the shower and he popped his
Kelly
head.
is interviewed at length by the cops. Her story is always the same. Punky abandoned her and he abandoned his children. Tammy and Jerry offer up dozens of theories of what could have happened.
Every time Tammy was interviewed, she told a different story. There was a Mexican involved with a big spiderweb tattoo, or there was a white van that had a Mexican male in it.
One of the stories Jerry had told me was that there was a stripper named Baby Doll that worked at the strip club that he'd been messing around, and maybe they did something.
There was theories brought up that he went to Mexico, that he walked to the end of the driveway and was never seen, and that he was killed by a drug dealer.
All the explanations they had, it just didn't add up. I told him, no, you don't know my son. My son keeps in contact with us, calls his dad every day.
Over the next few months, the case is assigned to 4 different investigators in the Butler County Sheriff's Department, but none of them make any progress.
They passed that case on from detective to detective to detective. And it was like, for a moment, I'm like, what, do they not care?
It just went a lot of different directions, and it's no fault really of the detectives. They really had no guidance or leadership. We really hadn't had a case like that in Butler County in quite some time that I can remember. I think there was a lot of people who really was kind of scared to probably say they knew anything.
Over time, other investigations take priority, and the case grows cold, until a mysterious phone call turns up the heat, and the case turns piping hot.
He said, I know what happened to this guy. I need to talk to someone.
That's not possible.
Kelly Harrod tells the cops her husband Punky left one day to buy a pack of cigarettes and never returned. 6 months later, with no clues and no leads, the police have all but given up on the case. But not his father.
I call the cops every day. Check. We don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. What do you want me to do? I said, I want you to find my kids. Excuse my French. Well, if you get any information, let us know.
It was the persistence calls from Frank Harrod, the father of Punky, that I think kept this case alive. Frank was very persistent.
Punky's family refuses to believe he left on his own, for good reason.
He left everything behind. His truck, his keys, his cigarettes. He never went nowhere without his cigarettes.
We all know there's such a thing as the deadbeat dad. But what is very rare is a parent who is active in their kids' lives and then literally disappears on a moment's notice, never to be heard from again.
I thought it was strange that Punky just vanished and disappeared. Most people who might want to leave their wife and kids would still have some contact with other relatives or friends, and he hasn't done that.
That is incredibly rare. I'm suspicious immediately when I see that.
Convinced that somebody knows something, Franklin Sr. continues to hound the sheriff's department.
There was one detective where once in a while we'd call and ask for updates. This one detective's like, don't call me. If I find anything, I'll call you.
It went on and on and on.
Months pass and the Harrods see less and less of Kelly. One day, Frank calls her only to discover she has left town after selling the couple's house. She doesn't leave a forwarding address.
The house is open, we go in. All that's left is Punky's belongings. There's wine bottles, beer bottles, a blanket that I had crocheted for him, stuff like that.
They was gone. Everything gone. We didn't know where they was.
And there's more shocking news. The Harrods track down Punky's old racing pals, Tammy and Jerry. Tammy reveals that Kelly gave birth to another daughter 5 months after Punky's disappearance. Kelly's moved to a new state with the kids and settled down with a new man. But one thing Tammy won't tell them is where. The Harrods are forced to hire a private detective to find Kelly and their grandchildren.
We went to court to get grandparents' rights. Anyway, at first, she was afraid of us. She didn't know what we wanted. And finally, she said, well, you can see the kids anytime you want. No problems.
But for Punky, all hope seems to be lost. Until on Valentine's Day 2001, almost 4 years after his disappearance, Punky sends a message to his family.
I was reading through the love lines, you know. I read through them all the time. Then all of a sudden, I saw this one caught my eye. And it said, Mom and Dad, I love you. Tell Kelly I love you. And I'll be back and I love the girls. Punky.
For Punky's family, the ad opens up old wounds.
That's not possible.
I knew that wasn't him. He would have called my husband to begin with. He wouldn't have put it in the paper for us to see just like that. Somebody had put it in there to play a bad joke or what?
I called Butler County Sheriff. Well, I ain't read that yet. I said, I want to know what the going on.
If the ad is meant to quash any suspicions of foul play, it has the opposite effect.
What was strange about the love lines was that it was addressed to Dad, Mom, and his sister, Lisa, but his brother was not mentioned. If Punky had sent it, he would, of course, have addressed the brother in there as well.
Detective Randy Kaufman is assigned to review the case files. She quickly learns that days after Punky disappeared, an anonymous source called police claiming to have crucial information.
I needed to talk to somebody about this missing person paper that I found in a little store out in Andover.
This was a gentleman that called our 911 center on Friday evening, and he had information about the disappearance of Punky Harrod.
I know a couple of people that knew him, and they were talking about doing him in, killing him.
He said, I know what happened to this guy. I need to talk to someone. The 911 dispatcher at the time said, well, I don't have a detective working right now. Can I take your number? I'll have him call you back.
I'm really freaked out on that. I'm not going to give my name, and I don't want to be involved with it.
He said, well, he was calling from a payphone, that he wouldn't be there long, and that he would call back to our office on Monday after the weekend. He never called back.
It got lost in the shuffle, the tape. I resurrected it.
And I got a couple more things.
The mystery caller now becomes the focus of the investigation, but finding him after all this time won't be easy.
He didn't have a phone. We didn't have his name. We couldn't find out who he was. All we had was a recording of his voice on a tape to what he sounded like.
Luckily, the caller has some distinctive mannerisms.
The caller kept referring to these people, and these people wanted weapons, and he had a funny pronunciation for weapons. I thought he was saying whippings at first.
Randy teams up with Reserve Deputy Glenn Hopper. They go door to door in Punky and Kelly's old stomping grounds.
I wanted to play the anonymous caller tape for all of their friends to see if somebody could identify him.
No one can, until finally Detective Kaufman gets a lead.
I had a call from a woman, and I ended up getting her location, setting up a date and time for the interview.
The woman's husband joins the conversation.
I played the tape for them, wanting to know if they knew who this person was. But as they talked, he made these people comment a couple of times, so I suspected I had the right person. He did admit that he was the anonymous caller.
The informant is a former neighbor of Tammy and Jerry Trussell. He tells detectives that one night, Jerry came to him with a troubling request.
Jerry had come to him asking for a gun, and he said, of course, he didn't provide it, but they had asked, and this was shortly before Punky disappeared.
The timing may be suspicious, but asking for a gun does not prove anything. What the cops really want to do is bring Jerry's girlfriend Tammy in for questioning. Then they find a reason to do exactly that.
We learned Tammy had a warrant out of Greenwood County for driving while suspended. It's not a, significant crime per se, but it was something to work with.
They arrest Tammy, hoping that the threat of jail will persuade her to talk.
We talked to her about, you really want to separate yourself from these people because you are going to be wearing orange for the rest of your life.
If Tammy talks, the police and the Harrod family might finally discover what really happened to Punky.
She had in her mind, who should I really shoot?
You can't have two roosters in a hen house.
Punky Harrod disappears without a trace. His wife Kelly moves on, too quickly perhaps, with a new kid and a new boyfriend. Their former housemate Tammy is brought in for questioning, giving hope to Punky's family and the police, who are desperate for leads.
I was very excited. I was hoping that we were finally getting the truth, that she finally was ready to tell the truth.
Tammy tells them what they have long suspected, that Punky is dead.
It was Jerry.
She says Jerry Trussell shot and killed him and disposed of his body on the edge of the Walnut River, over 45 miles from Punky's house. She even draws a map of the area where his corpse is buried, wrapped in a blue tarp.
It's an area where a lot of kids over the years hung out, partied at night, partied on the weekends.
The county attorney pulls together a search team to scour the banks of the Walnut River.
We're looking for human bones. We're looking also for grass is not growing. Often the flesh, as it decomposes, will put out an oily that prevents stuff from growing.
We excavated the area, and we were not able to find anything.
It's a bitter disappointment.
It just would have been so nice to have Punky's parents, to be able to bury him.
But the search isn't entirely fruitless. Police unearth a blue tarp that seems to match Tammy's story.
The blue tarp was dried, and there was about 40 pounds of dirt scraped off of it. And through that 40 pounds of dirt, there was 5 hairs found.
5 hairs of unknown origin.
The FBI determined that there was 3 human hairs and 2 animal hairs. We felt we had enough probable cause then to write search warrants. They asked for human blood, hair, and buccal swabs off the people we suspected, that being Tammy, Kelly, Jerry.
Police bring Kelly in first.
We picked up Kelly. We told her that we had hair, and we were going to match the hair to the people that were involved, and that there would be arrests coming.
They tell her that not only could she go to jail, she could lose her daughters.
We did assure Kelly then that we were going to come between her and her children, and that scared her, because she loved her girls very much, and she didn't want anything to come between her and her children.
Forced into a corner, Kelly starts to talk. The year Punky disappeared, Kelly was desperate to get out of her marriage, but didn't want to lose her kids. She confided her fears to Tammy.
Well, while they're driving in, I get to talking about how maybe great life would be if Punky wasn't around.
Kelly says, we've got to do away with him. I can't do this anymore, and I would do it, but it can't be me because I would be the first suspect.
Tammy sees an opportunity. She's tired of being abused by her husband, Jerry, and she knows her husband is hot for Kelly. If she can get him involved in Kelly's murderous scheme, maybe he'll leave her alone.
Anything to keep Jerry happy and not being abusive to her.
Tammy then took it upon herself to talk to Jerry about getting rid of Punky.
Jerry strikes a deal with Kelly. He'll murder Punky if she'll sleep with him.
Jerry's frame of mind at the time was, wow, I get rid of Punky, I've got 2 girls. You know, I can have sex with Tammy whenever I want, and I can have sex with Kelly whenever I want.
Kelly had sex with Jerry as payment to do this, to have him killed. They even had a schedule.
It's Monday, Jerry. Jerry said he'd take care of it. He came up from behind Punky one day, tried taking him to the ground.
Kelly describes what happened on the day Punky disappeared, July 29th, 1997.
Tammy was there with a gun.
The morning they all got up, and Jerry said, today's the day.
Kelly, I'll be back.
Jerry walked by Kelly and went outside, and Tammy were running out there right after him, and they had told her, stay in the house, keep the kids in the house.
When Punky came outside, Jerry started picking a fight with him.
I know my brother when it comes to fighting. If it's your friend, you don't fight hard. So Jerry and him were wrestling around on the ground, and Punky's like, what is your problem, dude? What is your deal?
Punky was a very good-sized man and weighed quite a bit, but you have to understand Jerry Trussell. Jerry Trussell was small in stature, but he was very, very strong and crazy. He was Alabama strong, is the way people described it to us. Could pick motors up out of cars by himself.
When Tammy gets out there, he's like,
Shoot him! Shoot him!
go get the gun out of the truck. And she went and got it, come back, and had it pointed at them.
Jerry was saying
Shoot him!
that she had in her mind, you know, who should I really shoot? Should I shoot Jerry or should I shoot Punky? If I shoot Jerry, a lot of my problems would be over with him beating me, wanting to have sex with other women. But you have to remember that Tammy was very, very scared of Jerry.
Punky's last words were, I'm gonna kill all of you. And she shot him and he was dead.
After Punky was killed, it put it in the back of an old pickup truck, covered it up with limbs. That night, Frank Harrod came to the house, and Punky was already gone. Frank was asking, where's my son? Where's my son?
He was in the back of a truck, rolled up in a tarp. There's tree limbs on top of it. I wouldn't swear to it, but I think I was leaning on that truck the second night with his body in it, but I didn't see it.
Kelly's confession makes her guilt crystal clear. She conspired to kill her husband. Tammy is next. It isn't hard to get her to talk.
Tammy was ready to confess. Her relationship with Jerry wasn't getting any better. Her daughter was getting a little older. And I just think that she wanted it to come to an end. I think she really thought in her mind that maybe going to prison and getting away from Jerry was a better life.
She admits to her role in the killing and the cover-up.
Tammy actually had put those ads in, trying to throw investigators off because she thought we were getting closer to making an arrest or finding out what had happened to Punky Harrod. I think she felt very guilty that she hadn't come clean earlier and put all of us through that.
Tammy and Kelly cracked under pressure when being pressed by law enforcement. And what that tells me is that ultimately these women were worried about themselves and what was going to happen to them. And they were willing to tell the truth about everything else in order to protect themselves.
The most surprising thing to me in this entire case is that Tammy actually shot Punky when she had a chance to solve her problem and shoot Jerry because he was attacking Punky and could have said, hey, I was trying to defend my poor defenseless neighbor friend Punky from my crazy violent husband. She actually went ahead and shot Punky and actually carried out Jerry's goal and solved Kelly's problem. Yeah, it's a very strange trio, bonded by sex and murder.
In 2007, Jerry Trussell is convicted of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in Punky Harrod's death. As the mastermind of the killing, he is sentenced to 25 years. He never reveals where Punky is buried.
Jerry knows where he put the body, and Jerry is not telling us.
Tammy and Kelly get reduced sentences in return for testifying against Jerry. Tammy gets 9 years and is still in prison. Kelly gets less than 3 years and returns to her daughters in Wichita.
She was the first one to come clean and talk. The county attorney had made a deal, and she got the lighter sentence.
But for Punky's family, the case will never be entirely closed until they can give him a proper burial.
I gotta know where he's at. Talk about closure. We'll never have it until we find him.
I can't pay tribute to my brother. There's nowhere to go. There's no grave to go to. But without his body, we won't have a funeral. It haunts me, you know. Will we ever find him? So we can put him to rest.
And somebody out there knows where he's at. They know where he's at.